Hello everyone and welcome to the Dr. Pepper Dash series. And we are here for the first time in the DPDS at Homestead. Last season this was the Red Bull Short Track Showdown, now the DPDS. New cars, one division, and a great Homestead weekend in front of us. 5 heats will set the field as well as a last chance qualifier before we go to the A main. Round 1, 10 drivers in the grid, 46 entered this weekend, only 30 will make the race. Let's go ahead down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here in heat number 1 in the DPDS.
Drivers, start your engines!
And with that, the engines are fired. 10 drivers rolling off. Carter Friesen in the 91 will roll us down. Alongside him, John Felber in the 26. Casey Nanico for Columbus Autosport in the 85. And Alexa Luchon returns to Mid-South Automotive. Nathan Stapleton entered the 97 this week, as well as Mitchell Collins driving for the Onge Auto number 44. Cody Hagan for Diego Yepes Incorporated. And Sam Picard for Cloud Foster Racing Operations. Then finally, it's Jeff Bolton in the 36 and Wyatt Quayle in the 02. Both of these guys did not get to run a qualifying lap. They both spun it on their qualifying laps. 10 drivers. The top 5 advance from each heat. 5 heats means 25 go in, and the final 5 in the grid come from the LCQ. Coming down to take the green flag. It's a 10-lap heat. 5 of them up today. Green flag is in the air on heat number 1. Nanico down to the inside early, though. It's going to be 3 wide heading into turn number 1. You got Alexa Luchon in that 88 right behind him. But Nanico pushing up. Now Stapleton shoves his way up. Now they're already making contact. That's Luchon and Felber into the outside wall as they go 4 wide coming off of the corner. Look at Bolton in the 36 up from last on the grid. He is now inside the top 5, and that is inside the transfer spot, but now he's on the apron. That could be dangerous there for those guys in the pack. But Alexa Luchon already out at the beginning of the heat. John Felber in it as well, so that's 2 drivers with damage. Casey Nanico, though, pulls around Carter Friesen. He takes the lead in that 85. Carter Friesen will be driving this paint scheme in the Mountain Dew Custom Series Valvoline 200 this coming weekend, as he has been signed to Columbus Autosport for that race. Cody Hagan up the track. Sam Picard there. Now Stapleton. Wyatt Quayle on the back of Stapleton. Now they're going to make contact. Quayle dumps Nathan Stapleton head on into the inside wall, and there they go. A chaotic opening heat here, and they're all crashing. No cautions in the first heat. It's only 10 laps, and cautions will be about 3 laps, so only green flag racing. So it looks like 3 teams already out of this. John Felber, Nathan Stapleton, Alexa Luchon. As long as the team tries to repair the car on track and does not DNF from the race, they are included in the last chance qualifier and will go to the back. But right now, you got Casey Nanico up front. Carter Friesen in second. They're chasing each other down. Picard third, Quayle fourth, Jeff Bolton fifth. Collins and Hagan, 2 drivers who have come a long way. Cody Hagan has driven 2 seasons for Hagan Enterprises for older brother Larry, as well as Mitchell Collins was a staple at Red Bull Motorsports' Mountain Dew Custom Series team for a long time. Now they both moved to some bigger and better teams in the DPDS. Up front, Nanico and Friesen are pulling away, but the battle back here for the transfer spot is going to be getting heavy. You should be seeing on the top right corner of your screen the aerial shot of the transfer battle the entire race. Casey Nanico up the track in that 85. That's going to give Carter Friesen the race lead back. The fastest driver all weekend in qualifying. He was a 10th. He was just about a 100th quicker than Matthew Eves. And right now, the 91 team, they are out in front, but Casey Nanico in that 85 chasing him down right now. Further back, Wyatt Quayle up the track. Now you got Collins and Hagan fighting for it. There's John Felber, hammered that right side. BK Racing will be able to repair that car, get it out for the race. Nathan Stapleton as well for the last chance qualifier. But the 88 of Alexa Luchon is out. She will be done for the Homestead weekend. Carter Friesen now getting chased by Casey Nanico. They're racing for this race lead. 5 of 10 complete here at Homestead. And further back now, Mitchell Collins up the track. Wyatt Quayle, they're fighting for this fifth and final transfer spot. Quayle, Hagan, and Collins 5th, 6th, and 7th. As now Jeff Bolton, one of the drivers, him and Quayle, as we said, did not set qualifying laps. They spun on their opening lap. Bolton right now P4 for 360 OTC Racing, as well as Sam Picard in 3rd. But the battle for the lead heating up again. Nanico is fighting Carter Friesen with everything he's got. We are just over halfway. Already had a couple incidents. Nathan Stapleton spun off by Wyatt Quayle. Then Alexa Luchon and John Felber on the opening lap get together. Now you got Nanico and Friesen fighting for the race lead. If these two crash each other, then everyone could be in the show that's still fighting, not in a crash. Now you see Nathan Stapleton. He's in turn 1. These guys just entering turn 3. So about half a lap ahead. Stapleton should not be a factor. Back there, Collins and Hagan, it looks like they're content fighting for the LCQ top spot instead of the transfer spot here. Friesen fighting, though. Now you got Picard and Bolton. They might be catching up. We'll see if that distance has closed at all. And yes, it has, with Nanico and Friesen going back and forth. Picard and Bolton might join that battle. I don't know if there'll be enough time, but they are coming. Wyatt Quayle clear on his own into 5th. Collins way back in 6th. Hagan 7th. Felber is 8th. He has a lot of damage, but is still putting down solid laps with a damaged truck. A great drive right now, but he is in 8th, still trying to hang on. Up front, though, Carter Friesen and Nanico. Now they're fighting once again for the race lead. Friesen looking for the slide job on Nanico. Nanico looking for the outside line momentum. You see Picard and Bolton. They are catching these two. This could be a battle to the end, but Friesen up in front in the 91. Casey Nanico in the 85. They're chasing each other around this track. And now Sam Picard in P3. In 4th, Jeff Bolton. 5th, Wyatt Quayle. It looks like he's got the momentum over Collins, Hagan, and Felber. Stapleton a bit too slow. The battle we're going to watch is for this race win. Whoever wins this will start on pole for the Fields 100 at Homestead. And as they go into the corner, Friesen has Nanico all up behind him. Nanico has been keeping up with the 91. I don't know where this pace was in qualifying, but he has the race pace against Friesen. Further behind them, though, it's Picard and Bolton. They are trying their best to catch him. I don't think they'll have enough time. 2 to go here at Homestead. No one is really fighting for that transfer spot, so this is the only battle we're caring about on the track. Friesen up the track. He's going to go wide. Here comes Nanico back to the bottom. Picard, Bolton going single file, but further back as these two go side by side. Nanico clears. Friesen in that 91 is going to try everything he can. He has the car to beat today, and he's going to dive it in on the outside, but he carries way too much momentum. He is holding it just above the groove there, and it's going to slide him up the track even more. Will he have any outside momentum? Will he be able to catch Nanico? White flag here. It's now about 2 or 3 car lengths between them. Nanico leads at the white flag. Rookie Casey Nanico has never driven in the DPDS before, has never driven in the NSDCA before, but he's looking to go against the driver who has gone 4 years in the NSDCA, and now Casey Nanico in the race lead, coming through turns 1 and 2, down the back straightaway, pulling away from Friesen. He has the lead. He has the edge. He just has to hold on for this final lap. Picard and Bolton in 3rd and 4th. Looks like they're going to be content running 3rd and 4th. Now Nanico, he goes very wide. Will Friesen be able to catch him in time? He has the speed, but I don't think he has the time. He doesn't have the distance. It's still going to be a drag race, but Casey Nanico in the 85 holds on to win heat number 1. Wyatt Quayle will bring it home 5th. Then Collins, Hagan, the 26 of Felber, Stapleton, and Luchon, your top 10. Luchon will not be a part of this heat of the LCQ, but the other 4 will. Collins, Hagan, Felber, and Stapleton. We will go ahead and get you guys ready for heat number 2. Next up today is heat number 2. Matthew Eves was the second fastest in qualifying. He will lead us down. Alongside him, AJ Jones. Behind them are SBR drivers Mikey Yamakaze and Irving Allison, along with Scott Roush and Serena Sankoon in row 3, Alex Peters and Jordan Forbes row 4, Joe Redkowski and Austin Johnson row 5. The funny thing about this is there are 6 drivers that are running in either the Mountain Dew Custom Series or Crown Royal Truck Series this season. There is three others in this grid, Serena Sankoon, Jordan Forbes, and Joe Rutkowski, who have driven in the Mountain Dew Custom Series before. Scott Roush is the only driver who has not driven in a higher division in this heat. Coming on down, Matthew Eves, AJ Jones lead us down. Yamakaze with a great start. Green flags in the air for heat number 2. Heading down into the corner, you got Sankoon in that 73. Now Scott Roush contact with Alex Peters already. Now they could be 4 wide for the race lead. Off of turn 1, they will be 4 wide. Could we see 5 wide? They are not making it out of here. Matthew Eves is in it. Irving Allison, AJ Jones, and Joe Rutkowski hits hard. Irving Allison's in it. Matthew Eves is around. Chaotic start, and Scott Roush comes out on it on top. Serena Sankoon with damage, AJ Jones with damage, Jordan Forbes made it through it, Irving Allison, Matthew Eves, Rutkowski. This 66 team, it's been a disappointing weekend. That is the 3rd time they've gotten involved in a crash, in an incident this weekend. Now we got to look back. Irving Allison, he's staying on track. Matthew Eves, he's staying on track. That is what they need to do. As long as they can finish out the heat, they are allowed to run in the LCQ, and Rutkowski will stay out as well. He might be slow, but what a chaotic start to this one. And there you see now Scott Roush in the race lead, Alex Peters 2nd, Mikey Yamakaze 3rd, Austin Johnson, he is a late entry. They did not get the car down here for qualifying, so he starts last in heat number 2, and he's already into 4th after that chaotic start. Jordan Forbes 5th, Serena Sankoon 6th, AJ Jones 7th. AJ has some heavy damage, but that ain't letting it stop him. He is pulling on up there. Irving Allison in 8th in that number 11. He's really has a lot of damage and is slow. But Matthew Eves and Rutkowski, we just got to talk about this 66 team. They spun it in qualifying, got another chance to go out at the end of the qualifying, spun it off a pit road, and now heavy damage to the 66. Pontiac Power Sport. Last season, they had a great season with Priya McShane driving the number 66 for a handful of races. But now, starting off with Rutkowski, it is disappointing. 2 spins and a heavy crash to that 66 car. But Scott Roush, we said, he is the only driver in this grid to have not made a start in a higher series. And he is one of only, I believe, 3 drivers in the grid who have never made a full-time start in any of these series. Now, Scott Roush, if he could win this heat over the likes of Alex Peters, Mikey Yamakaze, even Austin Johnson, what a showing that would be for the Ditech driver. He was the first driver out in qualifying. He set down a pretty much a mediocre lap time, but no one knew how fast these cars would go. Carter Fries and Matthew Eves showed him that they could go a lot faster than what Scott Roush did, but Roush up front, he's leading for Ditech, a great performance so far. He's out in front at Homestead. 4 laps done, on to lap 5, and AJ Jones, we said he has a lot of damage. Look at the side of that car. Pancaked in. Both sides of that car pancaked in, and he just made a pass on Jordan Forbes for the final transfer spot. Forbes and Sankoon don't have as much damage as AJ, but he is outrunning both of them, and Forbes might have actually got a piece of the wall there, but now Sankoon in that 73 down to the inside on AJ Jones. This is for the transfer spot. And Sankoon, she has decided to step away from any chance at full-time racing. She made her one and only full-time attempt at a season last season in the RBSTS with Anjato's number 99. Did not have any success there. She is one of the first females in the NSDCA, but not one of the best. McShane has gotten a win, as well as Alexa Luchon, but she is showing her potential and showing her speed. She has said she wants to remain driving at Daytona and Talladega. She loves the super speedways. We might see her in the Crown Royal 300. I believe she will be driving for BK. But AJ Jones in 6th. He has stated that he is done racing full-time, at least for now. Possibly when Cup enters, he will join back up. But he will be driving just a handful of starts for his truck team. Possibly a handful of starts in the Mountain Dew Custom Series. But right now, he's 6th. Turtle Wax sponsored these guys last season, and he tried to give them a performance of a lifetime. Now he's trying to get them back into the show, even with all the damage. It's going, and Alex Peters has been spun. Scott Roush and Peters must have gotten together. Mikey Yamakaze has pulled to the race lead. Now Yamakaze in the 50 is ahead of Austin Johnson. Scott Roush, that's the battle for the top 3. Now AJ Jones is into 5th as Alex Peters has spun himself all the way to the 8th position. Matthew Eves very slow. Rutkowski is actually faster than him with all that damage, so That's kind of interesting to see. But 7 of 10 complete. The battle for the race lead. Yamakaze, Johnson, and Scott Roush. Now, Roush got taken out of the race lead. No idea what happened between them. We'll get a replay of that, hopefully at the end of this heat. But Sankoon with damage in the 73. AJ Jones with damage in the 4. Now they have to outrun Jordan Forbes, who does not look like he's doing much in that 01. Irving Allison, though, is slowly catching up. But Alex Peters, heartbreak there. He was into the show, into the Fields 100, in the Fields number 69, and it's pretty much over for him. He's going to have to race his way into the LCQ if no one else is able to survive. But Rutkowski and Eves both slow. I don't think that they will be caught by Yamakaze, Johnson, and Roush. But look at this. 1, 2, 3 for all the Pontiacs. Austin Johnson running the inverse, basically, of what his number 57 was, the iconic 57. Austin Johnson got 2 wins in the Red Bull Short Track Showdown in Season 1, moved up to Mountain Dew Custom Series last season, and now Austin Johnson fighting for this heat win. But Scott Roush back to the inside, trying to prove that he deserves a full-time shot and a possible couple Mountain Dew Custom Series starts, even a truck start, because he is fighting some of the best from that division. There's Matthew Eves in that 18. Very, very torn up as Rutkowski has passed him. The good thing is, though, unlike the first heat with Alexa Luchon DNFing from the race, all 10 are still in the race. Austin Johnson spun by Mikey Yamakaze. The 51 is in the wall. And that will give Jordan Forbes the spot into the transfer. And Scott Roush, white flag, he's in the race lead. Yamakaze second, Sankoon up to third, AJ Jones fourth, and Forbes is fifth, Irving Allison sixth. Now Austin Johnson, heavy damage to the 51 in seventh. Peters is back in eighth, Rutkowski and Eves. Most of the drivers who were the threats to win this one have been taken out through this race, and it's all Scott Roush in front now in the number 60, trying to take home the victory in the number 60. And now into 3 and 4 for Ditech Motorsports. A chaotic second heat will come to the end here, and it will be Scott Roush in the 60 off of turn 4. He will put himself into the show and will start on the front row. Roush wins heat number 2, followed by Yamakaze, Serena Sankoon, AJ Jones, and Jordan Forbes, locking himself into the show. Roush, a fantastic job. He gets the race win after a chaotic finish, but we have a lot to dissect here after heat number 2. So we started off early. Scott Roush and Alex Peters getting together basically forces them 4 wide into the corner as Roush dives to the bottom. AJ Jones, Mikey Yamakaze, and now you got Irving Allison pinching up. AJ Jones gets a piece of it. They all hook together and they spin. Now Eves and Rutkowski hit hard into the inside wall down at the bottom, but AJ Jones as well gets a piece of it. Looking here at Eves from this first crash, they went 5 wide. He just gets hooked up, and him and Rutkowski are going to pile drive that inside wall. Good thing they were able to finish this race off, so they will be able to fight through in the LCQ, but a lot of torn up race cars here in heat number 2. And Alex Peters here, it must have been a return of the opening lap favor from Scott Roush. He gets right up to the back of that 69, and off of the corner, Roush gets into the back of him and turns him for the race lead. And down the front straightaway, Alex Peters goes sliding. And now the final incident of heat number 2, Scott Roush versus Austin Johnson with Mikey Yamakaze behind. You see Yamakaze on the bottom. He floors it into the corner and just straight up dumps that 51. Austin Johnson into the outside wall in the car that they worked on so hard to get down to qualifying. They missed that, and now they will be starting from the back once again in the final LCQ. Pulling off next is heat number 3. That is Vince Freeze, the rookie for Extreme Racing, on the point here with Larry Hagan in P2. Peter Onjak and Cody Smart round out your top 4 with Julio Caesar in 5th. Connor Wilson 6th. Caleb Henderson making his first DPDS start in 7th. Eric Stamp 8th, and William Duncan sits 9th. 9 cars coming down for this one. We've had 2 chaotic starts. Will we get a third one? Green flag is in the air. We're racing at Homestead, and Larry Hagan, a big push by Cody Smart. gets the jump on the start. Now Onjak going to be looking to the inside of Vince Freeze. They are going to go 3 wide once again. You got Julio Caesar back there. His team owner, Alex Peters, just got dumped out of his heat. Now Cody Smart is going to be maybe 3-4 wide as he shoves it up the middle on Connor Wilson and them. And there they go! Cody Smart's into the inside wall. It broke there as well as Connor Wilson, but they go on, and Peter Onjak is now your race leader. Julio Caesar side by side with Freeze. That's for second and third. Now Larry Hagan fourth. Here comes Caesar. He's going to shoot under Onjak. That's for the lead. Back in fifth is William Duncan. Then you got Eric Stamp, Caleb Henderson, Connor Wilson for Evernham already involved in something, and Cody Smart. That is a heavy contact for the 72. These guys just get so aggressive on the early laps. They go 3 and 4 wide, and they all crash off of turn number 2. Let's hope they won't be able to do that in the heat or in other heats or even the A main. That would be catastrophic with 30 cars on the track. But Vince Freeze in the 12 now looking to the inside of Julio Caesar. That is for the race lead with Peter Onjak. William Duncan, he is in a backup car. If you remember in qualifying, he had a vicious front end hit down in turn number 1. Now Freeze gets sent sideways on Julio Caesar. Duncan is up here. Henderson is there, but Eric Stamp down pit road. He had engine issues early on, was not able to make a lap, and it looks like they plague him once again. Connor Wilson is in it. Cody Smart is retired. He is out of this one. Now Julio Caesar, William Duncan. Now you got the 12 of Vince Freeze, Larry Hagan in the 16, Peter Onjak in the 444, Caleb Henderson in the 04. Will Henderson be able to get up there and take a transfer spot away? He does not look like he's that fast in that 04, falling back for square D. So these top 5, they don't have to race each other. They don't have to wreck each other. These top 5 are all in. They just got to hope that Caleb Henderson stays back there. Connor Wilson is not going to get there, and Eric Stamp is now down pit road with the team going under the hood. But look at William Duncan up to second. He was very distraught after going head-on into the wall, moving to a backup car for the team. Of course, William Duncan, he entered this car for fun. He wants to finally break out of that shell. He had a great start to the season last time, winning the pole for the Valvoline 200, but it was just crashes and poor finishes for Duncan the rest of the season. He's up in second, started this race in ninth. He has to chase down Julio Caesar, but if he can, you are sure that he will be excited getting out of that 33. Eric Stamp coming back out on track. I believe he'll be a lap down or more. Connor Wilson, they're both at the back there. So Stamp, the mechanical failures continue. Caleb Henderson now catching Larry Hagan down the front straightaway, but Hagan remains the final driver in that transfer spot. Vince Freeze, Peter Onjak, William Duncan, Julio Caesar, Larry Hagan. That's your top 5. Not in the right order, but that's your top 5. Vince Freeze was hyped after qualifying. He had a great performance, and Sebastian Kukulon jumped off the pit wall and went down to congratulate him. A lot of teams looking at Vince Freeze as possibly the next big thing after that fantastic qualifying run for a brand new team. And right now, he's holding off against William Duncan and the great Peter Onjak. They're fighting there. Larry Hagan in 5th. Henderson back in 6th. You got Wilson and Stamp 7th and 8th. Cody Smart out of this one in 9th. So we've only had 2 DNQs so far, but a lot of carnage early on in these starts. Now you got Julio Caesar, William Duncan leading us down with Vince Freeze, Peter Onjak, Larry Hagan. That is your top 5. Now Hagan's going to get up there and kind of rough up Peter a little bit. Don't know why he's getting into Peter so roughly, but Hagan Enterprises had a great qualifying performance. And Adam Mitchell was on pole for a very good majority of the top qualifying, of the single car qualifying, and Larry joined him up there. So those 2 drivers definitely doing very well. Peter Onjak in 5th in that 444. Caleb Henderson just sitting silently in 6th, hoping that maybe one of these guys will crash out or make a huge mistake like Hagan and Onjak have. But Peter knows that he can outrun Caleb Henderson on these speedways, so he's going to try to do everything he can to at least make his way into the show, just like he did not do last season. William Duncan now has Vince Freeze all over the back of him. You got Larry Hagan there. We still just have 4 to go. Julio Caesar has not been passed yet, but those guys are not letting him go away. Duncan, Freeze right now, 2nd and 3rd. Freeze is on the back bumper, shoving Duncan into turn number 3, trying to get him to go up the track, maybe move him out of the way. Larry Hagan in that 16 just looking behind. Peter Onjak there as well. Caleb Henderson runs it wide. He's out into the marbles. That's going to give Peter a bit more breathing room. But now Freeze looking for 2nd on Duncan as Julio Caesar continues to pull away. 3 laps to go. down into 1. The top 5 are out to their own little bubble. Caleb Henderson just back in 6th, just hoping that something goes wrong because he does not have the speed in him to get up there. Stamp and Wilson, they got to hope for a miracle in this one. Now, Duncan, Freeze, they kind of give each other some room now. Maybe they'll be able to catch Julio Caesar with 2 to go this time by. Hagen and Onjak sitting, waiting in the wings, just watching this all unfold. The 19 team, though, for Julio Caesar, he did not have that good of a season last year in the number 49, but he's back with Alex Peters Racing, a DPDS-only team, and team owner Alex Peters is Hagen and Onjak actually got together at the back there. I just saw that out of the corner of the screen, but as we were talking about Julio Caesar, he's looking for a rebirth. Now Freeze shoves Duncan out of the way. Contact between the two of them. Duncan's going to go back to 5th as Vince Freeze moved the 33. And now Larry Hagen looking for the 2nd spot on Freeze. Duncan now into the final transfer spot, but still has a nice gap over Caleb Henderson. I think at this point for Duncan, just back it down. Take that 5th spot. You're in the show right now. And get back to Freeze later. But there's Freeze now. He's back to 4th. Some contact with Duncan. That won't go well with the driver of that number 33. We could see some action between those two. Onjak now on the back bumper, shoving Hagen down the front straightaway and into turn 1, looking for that 2nd spot. Julio Caesar, though, taking the lead. Now Duncan down to the inside of Freeze. Will he get into him? Now Freeze gets shoved up the track. Duncan is there. Not going to happen, though. Duncan won't spin that 12 just yet. But Julio Caesar out in front in this 19 for Alex Peters Racing. A great performance in this heat. A driver who never really has had the spotlight. But this time he will. Coming out of 3 and 4. Julio Caesar, it looks like with no other issues, the top 5 will remain the top 5, and Julio Caesar will take home the win in heat number 3. Caleb Henderson will start pretty high up for his heat, but still misses out. Connor Wilson from that early crash, as well as Eric Stamp, but Cody Smart out of this one. He will not be able to race in the LCQ. The one and only incident that happens in this race. Cody Smart up top. He's going to be shoved about 3 or 4 wide. Tries to make a move up the middle on Hagen. Connor Wilson is there. They bounce off of each other into Henderson, and Henderson ends up spinning them both. Smart hits very hard on the outside, and Wilson keeps it straight, but Cody Smart in the TNT Fab number 72, that'll be the end of his Homestead weekend. Continue moving along this great heat day on to heat number 4. 3 chaotic heats, a bunch of beating and banging, bunch of crushed up cars, but they are ready for heat number 4. It's Adam Mitchell on pole with Dale Cole Jr. in his debut start. He starts 2nd. Ryan Miniker in 3rd. Jacob Edson in his supposedly final start in the DPDS. He's 4th. Ashton LaJoy sits 5th. Drew Jua 6th. Camden Lucas 7th. 8th. Zach Rogers and 9th. Daniel Kobza. Daniel Kobza is in a backup car, but remember, he is a dirt veteran. He knows how to take care of these loose and slick tracks to get himself to the front. We'll have to see after 10 laps. Green flag is in the air. It's heat number 4. Mitchell and Cole Jr. lead us down, and we're racing once again at Homestead. Miniker with the jump. He's going to look to the inside of Mitchell. Will we actually have some green flag racing or clean racing coming off of turn 1? Adam Mitchell gets shoved up the track to Dale Cole Jr. Now they're 4 wide. Now they're beating and banging. Drew Jua, Ashton LaJoy, and they all save it. What a move. And we finally make it clean off of turn number 1. At least as clean as it should be, but that moves Jua into 5th. Jacob Edson looking to take the heat win right here away from Miniker. Adam Mitchell, he was the fastest in this heat in qualifying. He's now up the track and possibly losing his chance at the ride, but there is the battle for the cutoff right now. Ashton LaJoy and 4 others mugging him from behind. Top 4, though, Jacob Edson right there. Drew Jua all over the back of Dale Cole Jr. But Jr., he made his first start in a DPDS car. He was not around for the practice session. He was not in the 82. He was not even signed to this car until before the heats. And now he's up front. Now look at Zach Rogers with a power move. And that will put him into the final transfer spot as they run right now. As Daniel Kobza in that 93 looks behind. Camden Lucas starting to fall back. But Adam Mitchell, he has a car to beat. He's pushing Ashton LaJoy up the track. But we have 9 cars with no damage for the first time in the heats today. They're going, and Zach Rogers turned by Daniel Kobza down the front straightaway. For the TSR 21, it spins across the line. Kobza gets into the back of him and dumps the 21. That puts him into the final transfer spot, but he has Adam Mitchell pushing behind. Camden Luca, Ashton LaJoy as well. They might actually get together coming off here, close to Mitchell. Little bit of contact there between those two, but up front it is the 89 of Dale Cole Jr. out in front. Drew Jua in second, Jacob Edson third, Ryan Miniker fourth, and now Daniel Kobza. He dumps the 21 for the 5th transfer spot. He had a horrific incident in turn number 3 in qualifying. The rear sway bar broke and it turned him dead right into the outside wall. Head-on collision at 120 miles an hour. He got out of it, is okay, was checked and released, and now is running in the final transfer spot here in Homestead, trying to maybe even win this one. But Dale Cole Jr., the rookie for Shepherd Racing, he's looking to make his own story here. He is out in front, leading 4 of 10 complete here. Edson now to the inside of Drew Jua. Right, as we said that this race was clean off the bat, and we might see some competitive racing. Zach Rogers was spun by the 93, and right now the top 5 have broken away from Luca, Mitchell, and LaJoy. But Mitchell, this would be heartbreak. He was the 4th quickest driver, held the pole for about 20 cars before Carter Friesen took it away from him. But this Petco 61 for Hagen Enterprises, they have released Cody Hagen from that team, and now they want to have Adam Mitchell carry the team. He drove for Evernham last season and turned down an Evernham contract to come back to the DPDS for Hagen Enterprises. This 61 team, though, the Petco 61, he has the car to beat, but Daniel Kobza is the driver right now ahead of him. Miniker and Jua as well up there are going to be fighting for those transfer spots. But Adam Mitchell, if he can get up there and get that speed that he had in qualifying, he might be able to get up there and pass one of these guys, knock them out of the show. But Dale Cole Jr. in the 89, he is up in front. Looks like we've kind of calmed it down, though. Most of the field sitting single file. Zach Rogers, 18.5 seconds behind after that spin. But Jacob Edson in this 10. Homestead, of course. Florida is his home state, and he's here for the Crown Royal, or the Valvoline 200 and the Fields 100. He was in this race last season, and I believe he was able to make his way into the show. But Edson in second. On his retirement tour last season, he was unable to get a win, but finished out his truck career, finishing 6th at Kansas, a career high, or a season high last season for Edson. He's now up in second, chasing down Dale Cole Jr. Edson has not won anything since the clash last season in the Crown Royal Truck Series. Now he's trying to win this heat here in the DPDS. Kobza has moved up to 4th, but now Jua comes back after it, and there you see Adam Mitchell. He's not too far behind. These two start battling again. Mitchell will be right there ready to take them down. Dale Cole Jr. out in front, 3 to go. He's going to have to hold off one of the best in the NSDCA, Jacob Edson, in the number 10. Right on the back of him goes up the track. Ryan Miniker for the racing group in that number 30. Of course, they had some success with Jake Galloway in the 30 truck. Now they move to the Dr. Pepper Dash Series. Right now they are 3rd in this heat, looking to advance. Kobza and the 23 of Jua, they are fighting for that spot. Adam Mitchell is just behind them. Ashton LaJoy, though, the 21, really, it looks like those tires are gone on Zach Rogers, number 21. He'll have to race his way now in through the last chance qualifier. But Ashton LaJoy back here for Furniture Row Racing, a previous NASCAR team that one of the only ones that came back to the NSDCA, and they're finally coming back here in the 2020 season. He is in this number 78 in the DPDS. Camden Luca, retiring from full-time racing, will be driving road courses for Burkhart Morris Motorsports in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, of course, in that Irish Spring car. He's right now seated in 8th. Kobza now has been passed by Jua again, but here comes Adam Mitchell. Mitchell is trying to race his way in. He's got 2 laps to do it. Up front, it's all Dale Cole Jr. Miniker and Edson battle for second, but now the battle for the transfer spot starting to heat up. It's Jua, Kobza, and Mitchell coming down here for the white flag. These 3 are going to be racing hard to the end. The dirt track driver of the 93, he was brought into stock car racing by A.J. Jones after the Chili Bowl this season. A.J. helped him secure this car for himself, and now drag racing to the line. White flag here. These 2 are in. Adam Mitchell is out. They're going to be racing hard. Dale Cole Jr. trying to win his heat right here over Jacob Edson. But now Kobza to the inside on Jua. They walk it up the track. Here comes Adam Mitchell in the 61. going out to the further cam to make sure we can see that battle for the race win as well. Cole Jr. is pulling away from Edson and Miniker, but now you got Adam Mitchell in that 61 trying not to be upset here in his heat. Jua now all over the back of Kobza. Jua sends him up the track. Now they might be in contact. Jua all over the back of the 93 coming off of the corner. It's not going to be enough for anyone. Dale Cole Jr. wins in the 89. Edson Miniker, then Kobza and Jua. Adam Mitchell, fourth quickest, will have to race his way in through the LCQ. What a performance. Dale Cole Jr. was not signed to this car until just before these heats, just before qualifying. He qualified it up in the top 10, and now he is a winner of a heat. Edson is also in, but Daniel Kobza, Zach Rogers saying on the radio he'd like to see him after the race, but Kobza, great rebound there after that horrific crash in turn number 3. He is into the show with Drew Jua, and Adam Mitchell, the big surprise, will have to race his way in. And as we said, the only incident of this race is the 21 of Zach Rogers getting Daniel Kobza right on the back of him. And right off of the corner, Kobza gets into the back of him, doesn't get off of him, and spins the 21 around, does a 360 down, gets in the grass, and taps the inside wall. Zach Rogers will have to race his way in through the LCQ. 4 amazing heats down. Just one more to go before we set the field for the last chance qualifier. Again, the top 5 advance from the heat. The rest go to the LCQ unless you DNF the race. Only 2 DNFs so far. That's Alexa Luchon and Cody Smart. Austin Murray leads us down with Desmond Docks alongside of him. Behind him is Ryan Butcher and newcomer Max Anderson. Kyle Corbett sits 5th with Brad Stover in 6th. 7th is the 57, that's Blaze Zebrator. 8th is James Ellison. 9th, Logan York. We have just 10 more laps of heat racing to go. We've had 4 chaotic races. What will the 5th be? Murray and Docks lead us down. Green flag is in the air. We are racing 10 more laps in the final heat of the day. Already they're looking 3 wide further back, but this is the first time the leaders aren't going to be going 3 wide into turn number 1 and 2. Murray going to be able to pull out on the inside. Now Kyle Corbett forces Ryan Butcher up the track. Blaze Zebrator won't be there. Contact between Stover and Ellison at the back, but all 9 drivers get clear. Look at Logan York's power in the 07. He's going to move up to 6th position for Impala if he can get around Blaze Zebrator. Now we have the 87, Max Anderson making a move. Austin Murray up the track. Ryan Butcher up the track. And Desmond Docks for Fitzwater Australia Racing trying to take the lead. Max Anderson up to the back of Kyle Corbett. Now Logan York, he blew his engine. Early on, they couldn't get the car off pit road to start qualifying. He's now up into 5th. 3 wide up front, though. Kyle Corbett forces Austin Murray almost to the wall. He might put him in the wall with how wide he went. Desmond Docks pulling away in the 59, though, with the advantage. Max Anderson clears himself into 2nd on Kyle Corbett, and they spin in the back. That is Ryan Butcher with a heavy hit. The 57 of Blaze Zebrator goes around, as well as the 83. That's James Ellison. Heavy contact for the 57 team. Heavy contact for the 17 team. And now we are 3 wide for the transfer spot. That is now 6 cars left, so only one of these guys, unless they crash, will miss the show this time around. And that's Austin Murray in that 3, trying to hold on over Logan York. Ryan Butcher, heavy damage to that 17. He already has, this is already his backup car. I don't know how many more they brought to this to this track. Blaze Zebrator in the 57, a very torn up car, and that will join Austin Johnson's 51 as 2 very torn up cars for the veteran oil teams. And now the 83 Irving Allison, or not Irving Allison, James Ellison. Those 2 names are going to be confusing this entire weekend, but James Ellison in the 83, he now sits 9th. Desmond Docks out in front. Max Anderson in 2nd. There is the battle for the transfer spot. One driver here will miss it and have to go to the LCQ. At least one, I should say. Now Logan York fighting Austin Murray, Brad Stover heading down into the corner. They're going to go 3 wide. York throws it in. Stover drove in the trucks last season and in the MDCS. Austin Murray moved from the MDCS now to a top team in the CRTS. Logan York has driven in the RBSTS for 2 seasons. He's now fighting to the inside of Murray and the 6 of Brad Stover. As the battle for the lead rages on, that's Desmond Docks and Max Anderson. Kyle Corbett's all alone. Austin Murray gets into Stover. They're sliding 3 wide for the final transfer spots. and contact between Stover and Murray. Now Murray trying to carry the momentum off the corner. York is going to get by him, but they're still beating and banging. Brad Stover now back to 6th, Logan York up to 4th, and in 5th is Austin Murray. Take a quick look at the battle up front. Desmond Docks for Fitzwater Australia Racing. FAR is struggling bad, failing to attract many sponsors this season outside of PureTech. So now that is basically all FAR is. They have 2 unproven rookies in the Mountain Dew Custom Series, and they have Mark Silas in the trucks in what was thought as a big rush to the truck series after Silas did not win any races with Shepherd Racing last season. Now Desmond Docks trying to prove that at least one of their teams will be able to do something in the DPDS. Now he's fighting, but Max Anderson in the 87 for Zachary Racing down to the inside. If you notice, this CLR paint scheme is a throwback to the team owner Zachary DeLello's first season in the NSDCA. They go to the race lead, and it's Max Anderson in that 87. He will clear. Brad Stover falling back at 6th. The good thing is the 17, 83, and 57 have continued on going. They're trying to repair those cars. They'll try to repair those cars in the garage area because they will be allowed. But, of course, if you DNF, that is taking the car behind the wall and saying you are done. So that is heartbreak, though, for Cody Smart and Alexa Luchon. They will not be allowed in the LCQ. Max Anderson in the race lead. 7 of 10 coming on right now. We have 4 laps to go. Anderson is taking the lead away from Desmond Docks. Back in 3rd is all Kyle Corbett, but Logan York, Austin Murray, Brad Stover, not Brad Cheston, are moving up quick. Stover right now is 6th. He would be out of the LCQ, or out of the A main right now, and have to go to the LCQ. He has to try to hang on and pass maybe Austin Murray, Logan York, or any of these guys if something goes wrong with them. But Max Anderson out in front. A very big gap between Anderson and Docks, back to Corbett, and another big gap to the other 3. Looking back here, though, Blaze Zebratar's number 57 is all torn up, but they are trying to make it survive. As long as he crosses that finish line at the end, he has the chance to repair the car. You got James Ellison in the 83. He's in the back there, as well as Ryan Butcher in the 17. Some heavy damage to the front of the 17. This is already their first backup car. Hopefully they don't have to wreck another one in the LCQ. But as they go, now Austin Murray around the 07. That is for 4th, putting Logan York the only spot between Brad Cheston and making the show. Up front, Max Anderson pulling away, but this is the battle we're going to be watching to the end of this race, most likely. York goes up the track. Here comes Stover with momentum. Murray not going to be able to pull away that far from York. Now Stover gets to the inside in the number 6. Drag race down the front straightaway. York would have it if it ended right there. We still have 2 laps to go at Homestead in the final heat of the day. Austin Murray in the 3 is up in 4th. In 5th is the 6. And now 6th is the 07. The 83, 17, 57 not going to be factors, not going to be fighting for those transfer spots. Max Anderson in the 87 has a comfortable lead in the Zachary Racing car, and they are looking to take home the victory. But the battle is for that 5th and final transfer spot. Brad Stover and Logan York going back at it once again for Harmon Betting Peterson and Impala, 2 mainstays of the DPDS RBSTS seasons. Now York back around Stover. White flag is in the air. Can York now hang on for Impala? Up front, Max Anderson has a very comfortable lead. It's out to about 0.6 of a second. Docks continues to fall. Kyle Corbett is safe in 3rd. Murray 4th. York trying to hang on in 5th. Back there with Brad Stover. Now it looks like the 87 and 59 are too far apart. It looks like Max Anderson is going to be able to take this win, but Stover has one last chance at it into turn 3 as long as York does not cut too low. York is wide. He's going wide. He's going very wide up into the marbles. Here comes Brad Stover to the inside. Up front, it's Max Anderson taking the win, and Stover will come up just short. Logan York will take the final transfer spot here at Homestead in heat number 5. The only issue of the race here was you see Austin Murray goes wide. Ryan Butcher also goes wide, and it looks like he's going to get clipped by Zebrator. They hit James Ellison just barely. 57 blasts the inside wall. The 17 actually goes sliding around, and he actually hit the wall. The 83 did as well. So a couple torn up race cars will get the field ready for the LCQ.